And I want to exactly quote Kyrie Irving, exactly what Chris quoted her as saying. And she said, "I have reached out to the Nets regarding contract extension. We have no significant conversations to date. The desire is to make Brooklyn home with the right type of extension, which means the ball is in the Nets court to communicate how they're now if their desire is the same."
It's been a while since we've had some drama. So
Kyrie has been on his best behavior ever since returning from the what do you want to call that? Was a suspension.
Yeah, I mean, he did get suspended.
Yeah. And now the team is actually struggling, and I don't know about the timing of this. We all knew that this was going to be there. The one thing that I immediately started thinking about, she said something else. I wanted to go further on that quote. She said that, or no, actually she didn't say it, but Chris implied that there would be a number of teams interested in him if he became an unrestricted free agent this summer. And that's where this conversation, I think, has a diversion. I'm not sure how many teams would be interested in him this summer. He would definitely.
The Lakers just do something to chew up some cap space, probably.
Well, we're going to talk about that. But my advice to Kyrie Irving, he has 0% interest in my advice. That's been established for a decade. Is I would not make the contract and issue one iota during this season. Yeah. And I would not expect the Nets under just about any circumstances to give him an extension during the season, even if it is a short extension, which I'm sure he doesn't want. I'm sure he wants a long extension, because that was the issue last summer. Was there was some contract talks. The Nets made an offer. I don't know what that offer was, but the offer was not to Kyrie's liking, to the point where he asked for permission to go find a trade, which he was unable to do. But I would just say to him that it is advisable to continue to perform on the court and not cause off the court distractions, which this potentially could be. And I also don't think that there are going to be a ton of suitors who have cap space. This happens routinely in the NBA. A team raises his hand, "Oh yeah, we'll pay," and you don't have cap space. Well, if you don't have cap space, it doesn't really matter, because the Nets don't have to cooperate. I mean, ultimately,
unless you're Leon Rose and can dump a couple guys on Detroit and sign Jalen Brunson without giving up anything with second rounders.
Well, I will say that part of the Mavericks' miscalculation with Jalen Brunson was believing that the Knicks couldn't clear the cap space without help from them.
Yes,
and they did, and that was a miscalculation, and which is why the Knicks.
By the way, the Matt. Go ahead.
Well, the Knicks. The Mavericks were like, "Yeah, we'll trade you Jalen Brunson, and we're going to ask for a certain price." And the Knicks said no. And the price that they paid for, allegedly tampering, which I think is laughable, was a second round pick. So
another second rounder. Oh, shucks.
Yeah. So anyway,
the Mavs have that. The Mavs have that non-tax, or the taxpayer mid-level burning a hole in their pocket. I do think I'll say this. I've got my concerns about signing Kyrie, but I think it would be a better taxpayer mid-level addition than JaVale McGee has been.
Yeah. Well,
then DNP CD JaVale McGee with.
Did you see the video that circulated of Luka's face with JaVale hyping the team?
Yes, I sent it to you.
I was going to say, MacMahon sent it to us, pal.
That's right.
I saw it. I got a good laugh about it. That's for sure.
Well, look it up. I don't think that. I think obviously Kyrie would find a home next year. I just don't think that it would be simple, and so I found that story interesting. And
simple and max is the other question. And honestly, a lot of that might depend on, hey, does Philly make a deep run? And does Harden look at this and be like, why would I consider leaving a legitimate contender to go back to Houston? If he does, I mean, I'm telling you, Houston's going to try to make a big splash this summer. Tillman Fertitta did not sign up for a fourth year of cellar dwelling.
Well,
I'm not telling you what's a good idea and what's not. I'm just telling you what is.
It also depends on where Houston is in the draft order. If Houston can draft Scoot Henderson, Are they signing James Harden or Kyrie Irving?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
If they could draft Victor Wembanyama, that's another conversation. But
hey, Victor, come on over to the NBA. By the way, here's Kyrie for you to team up with.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.